There we go. Can you hear me now? Can you shout up in chat, please, and let me know that you can hear me okay? Just looking to wait for the confirmation from chat. Right, that's great. Thanks, Gert. Okay, hello everyone. Thank you, John. Thank you all those confirming that you can hear me. Hello. Thank you for joining me. It looks like we've got 17 people listening in at the moment. That's awesome. Thanks for joining me. Right, today we have another topic relating to being a crafter on YouTube. So, are you a crafter with a YouTube channel? Are you thinking of setting up a YouTube channel? And wondering if you've got your channel set up in such a way that really works for crafts. Now, there's a lot of stuff out there on YouTube about. I've turned the music off, so I don't know how. I'm in sync. Excellent. Yes. Anyway, what was I? There's a lot of information out on YouTube about having a YouTube channel and what you can do to set it up and all that sort of thing. Hi, Butch. And it still seems to me that there's not much on crafting channels. And whilst a lot of the same principles apply to our craft channels as to other types of channels, there are things that are a little that we can take advantage of that are a little bit different. So that's what we want to talk about today. Hi, Malula. It's lovely to see you all. Oh, 19 in. Gosh. That is great. So many in. Jerry? Who's Jerry? Got lots of people in. I don't know some of these names. Wonderful. Great stuff. Anyway, for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Tracey Lippett. I've got 3 YouTube channels. The main one, you're watching me on one of my baby channels at the moment, but my main one is Mini Scenes GB, which is coming along quite nicely. And I've been doing that one now for about just over 2 years, and it monetized within 4 months. What I don't want to say to you is that I consider myself any sort of expert, because really I'm so not. It's just that I get asked a lot of questions, and I thought it would be good to just share what I've found so far. I've also got a bit of a news update for you on one of the questions that was asked in our last live. So let's see. Oh, Paranormal Girl's in. I'm trying to see if I've missed anybody arriving. I don't think so. Don't think so. Apologies if I've missed anyone arriving. I will try to keep an eye on chat. It's difficult when we've got topics to talk about as well, but that's awesome. So yes, back to my point that I don't think there's enough out there to help crafting YouTubers, and I think every niche is a little bit different, and we can take advantage of different things. And crafting is a very growing area. There's a huge amount of crafts, arts, DIY, even all sorts of just creative things out on YouTube at the moment. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about on this one, and this really spurs off again from that list of questions I've been asked, was how to actually set your channel up in the first place. So things like getting your your channel description set up, picking things that will make your life easier when you come to upload videos. I think somebody asked last time, I can't remember who it was it Gert? It might have been Gert. Somebody asked if you could put in, if there was any way of having some default information in there, or whether you had to keep copying and pasting all your information in from a Word document or something like that. Was that you, Gert? Somebody asked me that anyway. So there's a whole load of tips and hints around that I've found, some by accident, some because other people have told me. So yeah, I was just going to basically bear all and show you my channel and show you what I've done, and it seems to be working for me. I'm sure it could be improved and fine-tuned, but I'm very, was it Rachel? Might have been, yeah. So I will, yeah, I'll show you what I do. I won't promise you that it's all absolutely correct, but you know, it's hopefully you can at least see what I've done and then try it for yourselves, or your own variation on. Maybe it'll give you some ideas. That's where I'm coming from here. And no, I'm the right way round. I found the flick screen button thingy, Luna. See, look, on air. See, to me, it's the wrong way round. See, I looked fine to me last week. It's really weird seeing yourself not mirrored and your parting's on the wrong side, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to do some screen sharing with you today. So the first thing I want to talk about, oh, yes, before I go any further, I'm pretty sure that it was Gert who asked the other question, though. And that question was, can you pick what types of adverts run on your channel? Yeah, you can now. So now I'll show you that as we go through the screens, because I am literally going to. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to go through my actual channel screens. I've taken off all the people who are hidden from my channel. None of you are. You'll be glad to know. But there's a bunch of people I've hidden from my channel because of abusive behavior, and it just so I can't see them. I'll just show you where that is, because then you can save yourselves a lot of pain, because I get hardly any problems now, and it's because they're all hidden. So I'll show you where that is as well. So that's what we're all about today then, all the setup. So hopefully, I mean, also this you might already know, but hopefully there'll be some little bits and pieces that will be new to you, or you might think, oh yeah, I could do this different thing with it. So anyway, we'll see how we go, but we'll look at those initial setups, and we'll have a look at anything that we can tweak and fine tune to just get a bit better visibility for our channels, that sort of thing. And then obviously as the weeks go by, I'll pick up some other topics as well. I mean, we can hi Julia, we can talk about things like thumbnails and descriptions and stuff like that further down the line, which again, no expert, but happy to share what I do know. Right, shall we dive in? Now, what I've done is, if I can remember how to do this, I've got my screen set up to share my screen with you. Do feel free to throw in any questions, by the way. Just remember to put a big capital Q in front of your question, because then I've got a bit of a fighting chance of spotting it, because I know you'll all be chattering away and interacting in chat, and I might miss your questions. So please do big Q in front of your question, and that will help me to try and spot them. But I'll pause at the end of each section and sort of say any questions anyway. Right, here we go. Here comes my channel. So I don't know why my hand is white on it. There's a big white hand going around. Isn't that weird? Anyway, what we've got then on my channel is obviously a banner. So let's start with this then. Once you click to say you're going to set up a YouTube channel, immediately you get a whole load of things that you need to think about filling in if you're actually going to be posting videos. And the first thing to think about is the banner. Now, what I've tried to do, I've recently rejigged it a bit to try to bring it into the colour scheme that matches more with the thumbnails, because I've ended up using images of my craft mat with things on it quite a lot lately, and of course that's purple. Hiya, Gareth. So I've recently added some purple in with my red, white and blue in my top banner. Now, I produce my banner in Canva, which I know a lot of you use, and there is an actual set of templates. If you type in to the search when it says what do you want to create, YouTube banner, the right shape comes up. Now what you'll find is it's actually a lot wider and longer than what you see on the screen here, so you'll probably have to have a couple of goes at doing your design to make sure that the text bit fits in this middle section here. And the reason you get all this extra around the edges is because it also shows you what it will look like on a TV screen, because you'll see a lot more of it, and also on a tiny little phone screen. Now, something to also check as well is check what it looks like in dark mode, because if you've got a black banner, does the detailing on it still look good if it's in dark mode? So have a quick look at what it looks like both on your phone, on a TV screen, and on your laptop or iPad or whatever it is that you're working on yourself, and then load it up. It does tell you actually as you go to load it up what dimensions it wants, and I wrote this down because you know what I'm like with numbers. 2048 pixels by 1152, 6 megabytes or less. If you save it as a JPEG, it will be a small enough file, but what I would say to you is make it as high res as you can. So if you can upscale your images, which Canva can do for you in editing, in the edit options, just to make them as crisp and nice and fresh looking as you can, nice and detailed. Then it's nice and eye-catching and it looks that bit more professional. I'll move the little hand now. Then, hang on a minute, I need to actually get onto my screen. The next things to show you are, and I'll show you how I set all these up when we actually go in to look at my YouTube studio. You'll notice as you scroll down, you've got this here, this bit that tells you the description of your channel. I wonder how many people ever click on this and see all the rest of it. Very few, I would suggest. Now, bear in mind, I can't see chat at the moment because I've gone over to my screen so that I can scroll it up and down for you. So if you've got any questions for me, just bear with me a moment. I'll come and check for them shortly. So this is what my channel currently looks at like. You'll see some extra funky bits because I've got vidIQ on here as well at the moment that I'm experimenting with. I'll report on how that goes at some point. At the top of my screen, you'll see you've got all your standard headings. Community. I've got store as well because I've linked up my store to it. At the top, we've got a video that if I hadn't pressed stop would be auto playing. Now that video is set up so that any new people who come to my channel for the first time or any returning viewers will see that one automatically. Now you can do yourself a little trailer video, so it could be like an advert for your channel. You could put that there. What I tend to do is just put whichever video I'm currently promoting. So at the moment, it's typically the last one I put up. But it could be your favourite one. It could be whatever you want. But inside there, you want something that will advertise your channel. You don't have to put anything there at all. But I found it useful. Whatever I put in there tends to do quite well for views. It means that there's something moving as well. As soon as somebody clicks on your channel, there's something moving, which is quite engaging. So I do like to have something there. And again, I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Then as you go on down the screen, you can see that I've got sections. Obviously, you've got the ones where that's what YouTube thinks you'll like. Then you've got your videos. And then I've got seasonal creations. I've got resin art. I've got jewelry making. Now, these aren't just my playlist topics. They can be a combination of playlists. So it's worth thinking about how to set those up. And you can reorder them. So I'm trying to put them in an order that I think will be most eye-catching to the viewer. So we've got just the video list across the top. And then I've put the seasonal ones because obviously they always look fun, don't they? You've got all the ghosts and skeletons and things going on at the moment. And then the big topics like everything within resin art. And in there, you can see these are actual playlists. There's the resin creations playlist, a great for beginners playlist, and so on. So I've chunked the playlists into these themes. So that's what viewers will see when they come onto my channel. And again, I think what I'm trying to do is make it as easy as possible for people to find their way around my channel and find what they want. And of course, there is the search at the top as well. And I put down the bottom the ones that people are probably, it's a bit more specialised, less people are interested in. At the very bottom, you've got a section, because you can rename all these. So I've got a section called Creative People Who Inspire Me. And I need to update this because I want to add all of you lot onto it. You can put as many as you like. But these are just some channels that I've linked up. Just a quick word about your logo. Remember that people are going to see your logo again from anything from as big as a whopping big flat screen TV down to a tiny little phone. So, you know, you think how big a phone screen is, and my old phone was smaller than this. Will they still be able to recognize your logo? So I'd suggest not too many words, maybe just an image. Somebody said to me once, and I can't remember who it was. It was some guru I was listening to, somebody like Sean Cannell or somebody like that. And they said, your face makes a good logo because you're the only one with that face. Yeah, right. So I've got a very old picture of me when I was younger. That'll do. Anyway, so yeah, again, a bit like your banner, just make sure that that works on a small screen. Right, I'm just going to pop back off the screen here so as I can see. Have we got any questions coming in? You're all chatting away. Hate having your picture taken. Yeah, me too, Tina. That's why I did that. Um, it was a phone app that turned your picture into a cartoon. That's what that was. Not seeing any questions yet. Has anybody got any questions so far? Uncle Fester is sexy. I worry about you lot. Not much though. Any questions so far? Because I need to put the text off the chat off my screen again, because I'm now going to show you how that is all set up and pick up all those little tips and hints for you. And as I keep saying, I'm not saying this is perfect. It's just how I'm doing it at the moment, because people keep asking. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to flick across again. Scroll up. Why is there a question? Oh, yes. Could you show how to use Canva in future? Yes, April, I can do just the very basics. There's a lot of really good Canva tutorials on YouTube, but a lot of them are for the more advanced techniques, you know, all the funky, Canva can do a lot of stuff. I only use, again, the very basics. So if you want one aimed at people just like us, just trying to do a thumbnail, yeah, I'll add that to my to-do list. It's a good one. Any more? Any more? A pic is better than a logo. Not necessarily. A good logo can work as well. I mean, if you look at the vidIQ logo, it's the vidIQ logo. So it can be either. All I'm saying is that just keep it. Hi, Ginrin. That's Marie, isn't it? Just make sure that you can still see it, because something that's too detailed, you're not going to be able to see on a tiny screen. So, cousin it. Oh, the chat's going mad again. Yeah, so just be careful. Just so if you do a logo or your face or whatever it is, just like I said, make sure it's not so fussy and tiny detailed that people can't recognize it immediately. So keep it simple, whether it's either a logo or just your face or whatever it might be. Any more questions before I move on? Okay, I think we're all right. I'll move on to the next bit then, because this is where I'm going to actually get brave and show you my YouTube studio. And I am having a quiet month. You're going to see things. This last video didn't go down so well, look. Anyway, what I wanted to go to is down here on the left. Let me just flick back and make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. You're not, are you? Need to switch screens. Hang on. Let me just change this screen over. Replace screen sharing. YouTube Studio, that's the one we want. Right, so as I said, I'm having a bit of a quieter month. Last month it went berserk. I got 2,500 subscribers and the income went through the roof, and suddenly it's just it's so up and down. I think I mentioned this when we were doing the one about YouTube income. So this is a real slow month, but all looking good so far. Now, customization, as you can see on the left. Let me just flick back and make sure you're seeing this. Yep. Right, as soon as you go into customization, this is the first screen you get. Now, this is where you upload that banner image, and that's those figures I gave you. Now, you could, if you want to start from scratch in Canva, you could tell it that you want to do a new document and you want those dimensions. However, what I did was I just hit YouTube banner and a template came up, and I overwrote it all. I still ended up having to move things around, but that's how I got this. But it does give you a bit of an idea over here what it's going to look like on the different screens. So apparently that banner is going to look just like a tiny bit in the middle of the screen, but the image I made sure goes all the way out and around it, so it fills a TV screen. You'll see what I just saw on my actual YouTube channel. That's what the banner looks like normally on my laptop, and on a phone it's a little bit across the top. So always stop and have a quick look and see what anything you're putting up, particularly if it's going to be a permanent thing or if it's going to be a thumbnail. What does it look like on each device? It's quite hard to get it to look spot on a phone because it's so tiny, but do your best. Just do what you can. If you want to change it, which I'm not going to, so I hope it'll let me cancel, you just go and pick whichever new one you've just done and swap it. And it will show you actually on the screen then the frame around where each of those areas is, so you know what you're working with. And then when you come back to here, it gives you like that little preview of it. Same with your profile picture. This is where you upload it, and you just, same thing, just go pick one. I could have that dachshund on a bike if I wanted. No, don't think I'm going to do that. And done. Easy peasy. Now, there's some things to think about down here. Choose your channel name. Now, my channel name is my channel name for historical reasons. Your channel name, make it whatever you want. I think it's usually helpful if it says roughly what your channel's about, which mine doesn't really. It did originally, but it doesn't really anymore. But because that's the brand name that everybody knows, I've kind of kept it. You don't have to use your name. You could just, I know this. Some of you guys have got some really good channel names, so you know, stick with it. The only thing I would suggest is keep it quite short, snappy, memorable. I mean, that goes without saying, really, doesn't it? Try and come up with something that's a bit different that will stick in people's minds. And again, so kind of short and snappy, so it's easy to view on your phone screens and things. The next thing you choose, oh, and by the way, you can change that if you decide you don't like it. Did you notice on here it says that you can change this twice in 14 days? So if you decide you don't like it or you want to try a different name, you can. But people latch onto a name, so I wouldn't feel inclined to change it too often. Make sure you're kind of sure before you start messing with it. Next one is your handle. And you know how at the top of your screen you get YouTube / channel / and a load of gobbledygook numbers and letters and things. If you want it to say @ and either your name or your channel name or whatever, this is where you put it. And again, you can change that if you need to, because I had to change it and put the GB on the end because I couldn't get the screen name. Mini scenes, somebody had already got it, so I had to go in and change it. Pronouns. Let's move swiftly on. And call me what you like, I don't mind. Now, the description. Now, this is why I showed you what it looked like on my channel first. You'll remember you only see the first bit. I think it cuts off about here at the word videos, somewhere around that bit. So what you don't want at the start is, hello, I'm Tracey Lippett, I'm from Redditch. I do crafts. In particular, I like resin crafts. Oh, and I used to be a learning and development specialist. You don't want all that. That's what I did have originally, something like that. What you want in your first few words is to tell the viewer, is this channel for me? Is this one I want to look at? So tell them what your channel's about first. Now, I used to have a lot more information in here, but I then realised that people don't click on it anyway. So I've made sure I've got that first bit, what I hope is good. And then I put a little bit extra on just because I felt I should, which is is there anything you want me to test or demonstrate? So why not put that on the end? They're probably not going to see it anyway. And then my contact details, which brings me on to something else, actually. Your contact details. Can I encourage you to have an email address that's different to your personal email address? For a few reasons. One, if you end up it becoming a business, it's easier to keep things separate. Two, I don't know about you, but my emails get absolutely clogged and it would be so easy to miss things. And three, I'm told there's something about YouTube channels getting hacked that it makes it a bit more difficult if you've got your businessy type email address published, but as a recovery email address, you've got a personal one because nobody can see that. So just something to think about setting up, because it's free, isn't it, to set up another email address. So it's just something that I think is a very sensible idea. Your channel URL, that's the full thing if you need to share it with anyone. But of course, what most people will see instead is this bit at the end here. It will say @miniscenesgb now, because that's where that handle works. I've put in some links, and it turns out there's not much point in putting loads and loads of links in here. So I've just put my online store, my link tree, which has got all the links in it. So these are things like my Facebook. What else? Not a lot else, actually, because I don't really use TikTok or anything much. But I think the links to that are in there too. Can't remember, it's that long. And I put my Creative Fabrica shop on there. Now you can add more, but again, people won't click on it anyway, so there's not much point in putting all of them. Contact information, refer you back to what I said about the email addresses earlier. And then down here, you can decide on, you know, the little watermark that appears in the corner of your screen. So it could be your logo. You see, I've got Kermit. It could be your logo. It could be a subscribe thing, which is what Kermit's doing there. It could be whatever you think would be useful. And you can decide whether you want it at the end of the video, start it at some random point during the video, or leave it there for the entire time. And again, you just do the same exercise. You just upload your little image, and that is another little image that I just created in Canva. Well, a combination of Midjourney, because it's an AI image, the frog is. And then I slap the subscribe thing over it in Canva because they've got pre-made ones. So I'm just going to come back to my main screen and see if we've got any questions. Hi, Suda. Who else we got? Got Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Did somebody say hi, Kirk? I got Kirk in here too. I'm trying to find everybody. Where's Kirk? Oh, I didn't see Kirk. Hello, Kirk, if you're there. It isn't coming up on my restream. Anyway, resizing the watermark. Lula, can you add that to the questions for when we do Canva? And I'll show you. April, how do I make what? Oh, JD does make good stickers. Not sure what you're talking about there. If you mean the little frog, it was just in Midjourney. I can do a thing on Midjourney as well if you want. Right. Okay. Should we go on to the next tab then? Short and sweet is best. Short and sweet is best with everything, pretty much, I think, except video lengths. Video lengths are, as long as it takes to tell your story well and not miss things out, but cutting out all waffle and pointless and padding it out. If you do all that, whether you end up with 5 minutes or whether you end up with an hour, it'll be right. Does that make sense? Because people will watch if it's good enough. Okay, I think I'm up to date on stuff. Let's go back to, I'm now flicking back so I won't be able to see chat again. Next thing I want to show you is the home tab. Now this is where you set it up to look like what my front page did. Obviously you don't need to do all of this, but I just think this was my way of making it easy for my viewers to navigate it. So that's where you put your chat trailer video, and I change that regularly to be whatever my latest video is. Now I've got a video going live at 9 o'clock, so I might change that over, or I might just leave this one. I don't know. But as you can see, if you click over here, you've got your options. You can change it or you can remove it. If you remove it, it'll just take that row out. You won't like have a blank box or anything. It'll just take that row out and bring all the rest of your home screen up. So it won't look weird or anything. But you can just change it and it will just give you the option to pick. There you go, pick from one of your other videos. So yes, I could pick one of these others. And you've got the option again, one for people who haven't already subscribed and one for returning subscribers. You might want to push a different video to each. That's entirely up to you. But whoever logs into, actually hits onto your screen will only see one or the other, depending on their situation. Are they a returning subscriber or are they a new one? Then, because I've got my store link set up, I've got this active. Now this means that I will get on my videos, I will get certain items from my store appear below the video. So that's where you find that. And I've just got it set on random, I think. Yeah, it's just linked to my Shopify store, that is. Now, there's a For You tab, as you probably saw on my home screen. You don't have to have that either, but that's what, if you activate that, that is where YouTube will put across the top row videos that it thinks your viewer would like. And I must admit, when I see that on other people's channels, it's usually pretty much got it. YouTube does watch viewer habits, and that's how it works out what to recommend to people. That's how the impressions work and so on. So I would say sometimes it's worth just trying it and letting YouTube do its thing. And then down below here is where you set up whichever ones of these lists or playlists or videos you want put into chunks. So like into kind of chapters. So you do this by, if you hover to the right, you can edit it. So you can add in or remove it. So I could add in and say, oh, I've got another resin art type playlist. I'll add that into that section. You can do it there. And also, if you decide that you want this in a different order, so let's say I want to bring fantasy and dragons up above jewelry making. Is it here? I should be able to just drag it. Oh, it's because that's still active. There we go. I should be able to just, yeah, drag it. There you go. So you can move that around and you can add into these rows, like I said, either individual videos or a whole playlist. So some of these actually comprise several playlists. And down the bottom, this is where you can add people who you want to put. So let's say, I think these are the ones I've got already. Shall I add the lovely Petra? Have I already got Petra? Oh, Tea and Art. Is she already on my list? She might be. Beck Makes. I think she must be already on my list. Who shall we have? There we go. Let's have the craft sortium. And of course, you can reorder them as well. And that's how you do it over here. So let's just, there you go. Push down a long one. Done. And there you are. And that's what comes up at the bottom of your channel. So it's channels that you're recommending, really, isn't it? So you never know, it might help them out. So that is that tab, the customisations. So that's how you basically create and set up your screen to look how you want it to look when people click on it. Any questions, folksies? Shopify a good store? Yes, I find it easy to use, Tina, and it's quite easy to link to your YouTube when you get to that monetization stage as well. All of my sales for my shop are driven from my YouTube channel. Don't get any from anywhere else. Oh, hello, Shaky. No, I'm not seeing any more questions. We can always come back to things anyway. Yes, I saw that one, Gert. Yeah, Shopify it's a good thing to set a store up on. The museum I work at use it as well, and it is easy to link to your YouTube, so that's a bonus. Now, the next thing to show you then is if we go into settings, now, and this will pick up quite a lot of the questions that I was being asked last week. So I've clicked on settings over on the left, and now this is what we get. And I'll show you how I've set mine up, and this is how you can avoid, I was going to swear then, should we say the nasties, and save yourself a lot of time. So the first thing that will pop up is the general tab, and there you just pick your currency. You see, I mean, I could change it to Egyptian pounds. I don't really know what this does a great deal. It just converts it for me, so I know what I'm being paid, and I don't have to try and work it out from dollars. I think that really is the only relevance to it. So that's all that's on that tab. So let's go to channel, and this is where it starts to get more interesting. So country of residence, obviously pick your country. And then a load of keywords that you want generally to apply to your channel. Now, some of these I might take off. I don't really make beads anymore. But these are the keywords that are basically going to help people to find your channel. Now, hashtags and keywords are a whole different topic in themselves, really. But these keywords are quite useful. I would also include in here, I mean, I haven't at this point, but misspellings, particularly hashtags are good for picking up misspellings. But Yeah, keywords will, if people are searching, and also it helps YouTube to know what your channel's about, particularly when you're new, because YouTube will be going, I don't know, what's this channel? Who should I recommend it to? And it can take a while for YouTube to actually gather enough information to know who it should be pushing your videos out to. So if you can give them a lot of clues, and these are some of them, then that's great. So getting some of your keywords in your channel description and things like that, and then of course in your video descriptions is important. So that's all there is there. That's all there is in that tab. Now, keywords, put all the ones that seem obvious to you. Feel free to copy mine. Some channels you can actually see what keywords they're using, so you can pinch somebody else's. It's adapted as time's gone on. Now we get into advanced settings. Now this is the bit where you can save yourself a load of time, or one of the bits. Because as you upload a video, you have to go through, is it made for kids? No. Is it done for this? No. A lot of these you can actually set it so that it's defaults to that for you. So here we go. Is this channel made for kids? No. Now when it's asking is your channel made for kids, what they mean is it made specifically for kids? It's a kids channel, it's about kids stuff. If it's another channel that is aimed at adults but kids might watch it, that's a different matter. You can put no, it's not for kids, because that's not its primary intention. It's not a kids channel. If you want to review it because your content varies, then by all means check that last one, but I leave it set on no, it's not for kids, because it's not. When you get as far as being monetized, this is where you can start to link up the Google ads. It pretty much did that automatically, I think, for me once I'd applied. Now, automatic captions don't show potentially inappropriate words. Leave that ticked, because it's easy for automated things to mishear you. And can I just float the thought of when we all got that squishy resin and we were all saying flocking? So I'll leave that there. So what we don't want is YouTube putting what it might think that is. So this don't show potentially inappropriate words. Just leave it ticked, because then it won't do a caption, and that's like the subtitles with what it thinks you said. I leave interest-based ads, excuse me, because why not? That's all okay. And that's not where you change that thing I mentioned earlier. That's further down. That's the ad categories. Can you see that over there? We'll come to that in a moment. So I would leave that on, because that's based on the viewer's interests. So YouTube's doing the donkey work for you there. So just let them get on with it. Now, allow viewers to click my content. It's up to you. Some people say, no, I don't want anybody pinching little clips from my videos. Others will say, yeah, that'll matter, because it's more publicity for me. I know I was watching some guidance from vidIQ a little while ago, and they said, leave it on. Why not? Get your videos out there more. Okay, so I have. Now, these are to do with your YouTube account. Don't touch those, because I did once and nearly lost my channel, so just leave them alone. It's a long story. Feature eligibility, just make sure as many of these are enabled as it will let you. If I remember rightly, I could only do the first one initially, and then once I'd verified my identity, I could enable 2, the intermediate one, and then I think 3. Yeah, that was when I monetized. I'm going from memory here, which is like nearly a couple of years ago now. But as it allows you to enable these, enable them. So if you're stuck not being able to do videos of over 15 minutes and can't do custom thumbnails and things, it's because you haven't quite got to that stage where you've verified your identity or built up a track record, because that counts as verifying your identity too. Right, the big time saver. Here is my template. This is where I fill in my title and what number I'm up to. This is where I put my description. by the little car. And look, this is what you were asking about last week. That is my template. So all of the stuff that we've set up so far will appear like magic as soon as you upload a video. That will all be pre-populated for you, so you can just go through it and tweak any bits you don't need. Obviously, I've got at the top, where's it gone? Product links for this video. I always use Apex resin, so that's always at the top. Lately, I've been using Toon-Pish's colours a lot, so they're next. I've got a blank where the moulds are. I'll just fill that in. And then I've got a whole load of things that I use like pretty much every time, and they all just stay there. So I just add in any extras. So that is a huge time saver. It drove me crazy before I spotted it. Visibility, that's another default you can set. Now, mine is set to be to be unlisted until I'm ready for it to go live. Excuse me one moment. And the reason for that is if you let it go, because here's the options. Look, let me show you. If you hit public, that means the second you upload and click publish, it'll go live. Now, unless you've taken about an hour to do all the rest of your stuff, that means it will probably upload and it won't be at 4K, so it'll all be a bit pixely and not so great quality. Now, if people see it at that point, it's not really looking its best. So I've set this to default to unlisted, so it won't load the video until I say so. And what I usually do is I have a look and see if it's still processing. And if it says, oh, it'll be another hour, I set it to go live in an hour. But typically, mine are scheduled like a day or a few hours ahead anyway. I think tonight's was only a few hours. But I'm trying to always give it time to upload to its best quality. The only exception is if the odd occasion I set it to go live to members first, because I know they would understand that that's what's happened and won't mind if it's not quite the full quality when it loads up. But typically I want it to go public to the world once it's finished enhancing itself, processing back up to 4K. So I leave that set as unlisted. Then down here we've got tags. So these are the tags. Again, they will default and fill themselves in on every video for you without you having, because it's in here. So all this is stuff for setting up your defaults to save you time and having to do it every time you upload a video. Now, I do tend to have a quick scan when I go in to upload a video at what it's pre-populated and think, do I need that one? This one isn't about jewellery making. I'll take that one out. And maybe I'll add another couple, but I don't spend too much time on it because the tags don't mean that they're not as helpful as they used to be. They're quite useful for misspellings as well. So if people spelt resin with a Z, for example, possibly, you could put that in there to catch any people misspelling things. But once YouTube has worked out what your channels are all about, this will probably continue to help them a bit. But it really doesn't make a huge amount of difference. So don't go spending too long on your tags. So that's your basic info, but that's great, isn't it? All of this done for you, ready. You just fill in the blanks and tweak it for each video. Saves a hell of a lot of time. Now, advanced settings. Again, there's some in here that can save you a lot of time. These are some more of those boxes that you don't know whether to tick or not, usually if you're anything like me, when you're uploading your video. And again, you can set your defaults here. Now, I don't allow automatic chapters and key moments. That's the bit where it puts timestamps in for you, because sometimes it gets them wrong. If I've got something with it that I think I need to put timestamps in, I'll do that separately, which if anybody wants me to show you how to do that sometime, I can. It's not actually that difficult. You can set in here which category you would normally want your videos under. You can set that it's never aired on TV in America, it's English language, and so on. So you can set all those so you don't have to do them every time you upload a video. Comments, if you don't want comments set on your video, so people can't comment on it, you can turn them on and off here. Now I've set the comment moderation to strict, because then that cuts out any bad language ones, which you know what sort of comments those are going to be. So that does help. But if you're feeling a bit braver, you can set basic, or you can hold all even, which means you're going to have to approve all of them before they get posted. I'm leaving it on strict at the moment, and that it means that I get the occasional one pop up in my held, in my comments held section on in my studio, that I have to go and just say, oh yeah, that one's all right, and let it through. And you can choose whether you want people to see how many people have liked your video or not here. I leave it on. Well, it doesn't show anymore, thank goodness. These dislikes, they took it away. So the public can only see your likes. And then we have monetization, and this is pretty much just sort of set. You can turn it off completely if you want. So there's no mid-roll ads. Now you can do that when you're uploading a video as well. But if you want to set the default to that being off, then again, you won't have to keep ticking that box when you load a video. Okay, so some of this is stuff that you won't see until you've monetized, but just know that that's where it is. So really, across channel and upload defaults, you've got a whole load of things that you can save yourself an absolute stack of time, because they'll all be set in there as your defaults. You won't have to put them in every time you upload a video. Now, this is the new one that I was asked about last time, and I said, no, you can't do that. The question was, can you dictate what adverts are allowed to run on your channel and which aren't? And to a degree, you have to leave it to YouTube, because they know what adverts are going to be appropriate for your audience. And it would be different if you were watching the video to if I was watching the video, maybe. However, this has appeared. So you can block now specific websites from being advertised. You can block sensitive categories. Look, alcohol. I don't mind if they advertise alcohol, but it's defaulted to unblocked. And then you've got all these other ones you can block. So as we go on down, there you go. I added gambling, get rich quick, and politics. And religion. And casino games. Yeah. So you can actually pick which ones you don't want to be running in your videos. So that was a real step forward, I thought. Thing is, though, if you block them, that's less adverts that can run on your channel. So when you're monetized, it will impact your ad revenue. And in here, there's general categories as well. Don't really know. It's just another load of categories, again, that you can pick to block if you happen to want to. So that's a big step forward, I think. That's good, isn't it? But again, you're just setting all the defaults for your channel, so there's less to do when you come to upload your video. Permissions here, this is to do with brand counts and permissions on YouTube Studio. I'm not going to go through those because, to be fair, I don't really use them. There are roles, you can add extra roles and things for people, but I tend to do that in here. Now, as you can see, this is where you add your moderators. Now, moderators have a couple of jobs, but to a certain extent it's up to you. It's the abilities it gives them, and then they do what you feel necessary. Now, I've got Mark, otherwise known as Batman, as my managing moderator. He has total and utter access to my account, so if anything happens to me, he can get in and do anything. So he's a managing moderator. Makes sense, seeing as I live with him. It's obvious, isn't it? And the Batman outfit, of course. Then down here, I've got some moderators. Now, moderators I've got set up, and approved users as well, by the way, partly so that they can put links in our chats, because I've got that turned off. So all and sundry can't flood our chats alongside my premieres with their channel links and things like spam and stuff. Now, these people can. Now, obviously, you'll all have come across John, J-Dubber, and Jenna. Sure you know who Just For You Online is. Restream Bot is the bot for the streaming service that I use, so it needs access to be able to do its thing. So they can actually eject people, mute people, hide people, shout at people for me if they need to. None of them have ever had to do any of that, but they are what you think of as a moderator. So they do have quite a decent amount of permissions. Below that, I've just got one approved user. And again, this is just if you've got somebody, you don't want to be a moderator, but if you want them to be able to actually share links. So what I've done is I've put Just For You Online and Into Resin, because they're the ones that sometimes appear in my chat. And sometimes I'll say to them, oh, could you just stick your link for this product in the chat, please? Well, now they can, because they're an approved user. Now, I've emptied this hidden users bit out. because I didn't want to embarrass anybody. Now, none of you, trust me, none of you are in the hidden users. Hidden users are, this is what where you put someone's name when they've been abusive in your chat or in your comments. And it's okay if they can see your channel because, hey, you know, they can give you their watch hours. Why not? But anything they put in your comments or in your chat, you won't be able to see it and nobody else will. Chances are they won't know they've been hidden because they can see their comments and their chats. So it might take them a while to realise they've been hidden. Now, I had got about 30 people in there. I've taken them all out so that you, because it's not that I don't trust you, it's just that this video is going to be live on YouTube forever. So I didn't want anybody going, why is my name on that? But that's what you do. So if you go to their channel, if they've caused you any grief, next to their name, you'll find there's a button you can hit. And the option that comes up is hide, and it will appear here. Or you can actually put their channel name in here. It's up to you. Live Directs allows people to redirect after their live stream or premiere to redirect people to yours. So if you've got a video that's being released like 10 minutes after theirs and they want to direct everybody to move straight to yours, if it's like part 2, they're all jumping into Tracey's stream or something. If you tick this box, that means that they can do that. If you don't want them to do that, then you untick it. And you can actually just put specific people who can do that, but I'm not bothered, it's fine. The other one, you'll like this, and I'm sure I'll probably get chucked off YouTube for this. But these are some of the words that I have. I'm going to take that off the screen quite quickly. Yes, those are the words that I've blocked. Those are words that have come up in my chat, and I thought, I don't like that. You could see why with some of them. Others, you might think, what? Anyway, ones that have bothered me for one reason or another, you just put the words into there as if you're putting tags in. Yeah, just the words and then a comma, and it will just go on to the next one. And a combination of that and the hidden users, I very, very rarely get any nasties in my chat now because it's dealt with, which is just brilliant. So it cuts down all the grief and upset I used to get because of that. And I have Daniel Cooper to thank for telling me how to do that. Made a world of difference, trust me. Right, here we go. There's a bit more again on that, the comments. So it says I've got the strict setting on for comments and hold potentially inappropriate chat messages. Because that's on live chat, I don't want to mess with that because we can deal with those live. If my channel gets very big and then the live gets to the point where I can't keep up with it, then I might have to tick that one. There we are. Then we've got channel guidelines. You fill this in yourself. So you will probably, before you are allowed to comment or participate in my live chat for the first time, you'll have probably been asked to adhere to these guidelines. And all I put was be nice and ask questions. That's it. So there's nothing scary in there. And it even puts some of these that you can actually put in, you just use their standard ones if you want. So that's quite nice, isn't it? And you can put a welcome message in. I've never got around to that, but that'd probably be a good idea, wouldn't it? As you go on down, these are bits you might not need to worry about, really. Creator demographics, they want to know, they want you to do a survey so they know how old you are and what gender you are or what you identify as and all that sort of thing, just to help them know what their demographics are like. It's that sort of research. Promotions, if you've got any promotions running, this is how you set them up for all your billing and your payments. That's that bit we were talking about the other week when I misunderstood and didn't realise what you meant by promotions, that you meant these. Again, I don't really use them because I didn't find it that beneficial when I did. And agreements, if you want to have a look at any of your agreements, like in my case, I've got the YouTube Partner Program agreement, watch page monetize, all these agreements that you end up with once you monetize. This is where you can go and view the up-to-date version. And that's it. I mean, the main things I wanted to show you there really were all of these upload defaults, where you can set so much that will make your channel easier to deal with psychologically as well. minimize the grief, and also save you so much time. Right, now I'm going to come back off this screen now. In fact, I think that's all of the on-screen stuff done there. Oh, Jenna's in, so I'm just seeing who's arrived since I looked away. Got Suda, I think I saw Suda earlier. She's gone off to bed. Jenna's joined us. Hi, Jenna. Right, I'm getting some questions now. Good. I upload videos on my phone. Am I missing some important settings doing it that way? I've never uploaded one on my phone, but I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. There's some things you can do on your phone that you can't do. Let's get this back off the screen. There's some things you can is this going to bring me back? Yeah, I'll leave it small on the screen in case we need it. Yeah, there's some things that you can do on your phone that you can't do on your laptop. Currently, setting thumbnails, custom thumbnails for your shorts. So there's some things you can't do. But have a look, Gert. I mean, you can watch this back and see if you can find all those things on your phone, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few things that you can't find on your phone, just because it's a small screen, it'd be harder to do. So yeah, run it back and have a look. You edit on your phone, but use the studio on the laptop. Will it still show up June? What? I think you've lost me a bit there. That might be a different. Will it still show up June? Do you mean June, our friend June? Lost me a bit there. But yes, there might be some settings you're missing anyway. If you need to compare notes at some point, we can always get on a live chat, Gert, and we can have a look if you want to. We can do some screen sharing. Now, what I was trying to look at here for you in particular is what of this is different for crafters, because all of what we've looked at really applies to everybody. And what I would say is for the craft community, the biggest probably is the setting up of your homepage so that you can see what the channel's about. Again, that does apply to everybody really though. And setting up those sections. Now, I think for us crafters, because we do different sorts of crafts and we have playlists set up, sometimes chunking those on your front screen will help people as well, which is why I set up that Great for Beginners one, so that people don't go into my playlist for resin stuff and think, oh my God, she's done something really complicated, and get scared. So, you know, do you see what I mean? So I've chunked it down to make that easier for them. So I think that is particularly appropriate for craft channels. And the other thing is, back to this business of us having so much that we put in our video description, and that people do generally look at our video description because we tell them to. And that's where all the freebies and the discount codes are. And if you're doing that manually or copying and pasting it off a Word document, that's a whole extra step that you can avoid by setting all those defaults. So I think for a craft channel, that is the biggie, that and the default tags as well, maybe. So that's why I particularly wanted to show you that bit, because that saves so much time. It does leave you with a small problem. Well, to be honest, any genre would, but if you're prolific at producing videos, I've now got 400 on there. If you ditch a supplier, like I think most of you know I have recently ditched one, you've got to go through all of your videos and remove them, all 400. Now that's peculiar to our crafts channels because we have all these links and suppliers to put in. Now, if we don't put them in, we're not going to get the referrals, and then if we're monetized and so on, and we're trying to earn some commissions and stuff, that's just not going to happen, is it? Now, I do sometimes fire up TubeBuddy. I tend to have a mad fit every so often and just pay for it for a month. And you can do a bulk update. And so I can get all of my videos done in one go. But that seemed to be all I was using TubeBuddy for. I know a lot of other people find it marvelous and use it for lots of things, but that was all I was using it for. So I just subscribe to it when I need it, have a mad fit, do the whole lot, and then unsubscribe. It's very naughty, probably, isn't it? There you are. So here we go. got some great questions coming in. Keep them coming. I hope I don't miss any of them. I can see one from April. So can I add all my normal links in my description area and not have to type it in every time? That's exactly it, April. If you put it in on that bit, let's go back. Where is it? Settings, upload defaults. Put it in here instead. Oops, hang on. I need to get. Oh, can you see that on your screens? I'll tell you what. Let's swap me over. It's no bigger, is it? That's annoying. Huh. Yes. If you fill it in on there instead, then every time you upload a video, it'll be pre-populated for you, so you can just tweak any bits that are different, rather than have to type the whole thing in or copy and paste it in from something. Sending other questions. June, oh, June asked the question. I think I answered that one. Nails, thank you. Just had them done only a few days ago. Difference between hashtags and tags. You know what? Every time somebody tries to explain that to me on YouTube, I don't really know. I think the tags that they put in are really in the big box where it puts them all in for you. If you use the defaults, that's more really for helping YouTube to know what your channel's about and for picking up misspellings. Whereas if you put them actually in your video description, it's got more emphasis. But I don't really get it. I've seen it explained so many times. I think probably yes, you should be doing both, but don't spend too much time on it. I think what is far more important is the fact that YouTube actually themselves said that hashtags and tags aren't as important nowadays. But what is your title and your description, the words in your description and your title, because you want keywords in there. Now, don't go just stuffing it with a stream of keywords and a mass of hashtags, because that will just annoy YouTube and it won't help. But if you put a description that's fairly concise, because let's face it, you're going to need a lot of space for all the other stuff we have to put. But in your description, it says what the video is about and uses the keywords in there. Like for most of us here today, we would make sure that the words epoxy resin were in there. Because YouTube now looks at the whole thing, at your description, your thumbnail, your title, even what you say in the video and the captions that appear and things like that. It picks up from all of those. It's really clever to know what your videos are about. So make sure you're giving it plenty of clues in those. Now, this is another place where we have, I think, an advantage, is that if you think about it, like if you look at my channel, that product list and all those links for getting your discount because of my affiliate deals, it'll say epoxy resin from Just For You Online, molds from, and so on. So those are keywords as well, aren't they? So in all those links that we put in, we're accidentally creating a whole load of keywords. That's handy, isn't it? So in answer to that question, Sally, I'm not really I'm confused myself. I don't know. The smart people of YouTube seem to say, yes, do put some in, but don't put too many and don't spend more than a couple of minutes tops on it. Shaky, you're welcome. As I keep coming back to you, please be aware, I'm not pretending I'm any sort of expert. People just ask what I do, and I've explained it to people so many times. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put this out there. I'll do actual proper videos on it at some point. Maybe when I'm feeling a bit more expert, I don't know. Oh, Darla, hi there. Darla, if yours is a crafting channel of some sort, by all means, drop me an email at miniscenesgb@gmail.com, because we've got a Discord group. It's like a little support group where we all hang out and help each other out and support each other in being a sort of soon to be or actual crafting YouTubers. There's an awful lot of total newbies in there, and there's a few people thinking of setting up a channel that haven't even quite got that far yet. But we all look out for each other and help each other, and that's part of where this has come from. This sharing of information. So if you'd like to join that, where you can hang out with a whole load of people in the same position as you, compare notes and things, and get some support, then yeah, just drop me an email at miniscenesgb@gmail.com. I think most of the people in this chat are already in it. Are all of these available without a YouTube paid account? Yes. I've got YouTube Premium, but everything you've seen there is available without having YouTube Premium. I only had YouTube Premium so I could get rid of the adverts, and the creators still benefit from my views as if I hadn't got the adverts hidden. If you use an ad blocker, basically you're stealing from the creators. So I did YouTube Premium to do it properly, so we still get credited. But it doesn't affect what you've got, all those permissions that you've just seen of mine to do. Obviously, some of them will only appear once you're monetized, and some only appear a bit earlier on down the line when you get your ID verified and things like that. But once you've gone through all those hoops, then yeah, you'll get that whole lot that you've just seen on mine. June's question: I use my mobile to edit, but use my laptop for studio. Is that okay? Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I edit on my laptop as well because I just find it so much easier, because you know, I do need these, and there's a big screen in front of me when I'm using my laptop. Is it an 17 inch, 18 inch? I don't know. So I edit on my laptop as well. But if you then do upload it and do all the editing, the filling in all those blanks in Studio on a laptop, yeah, you'll get all those options. It should be exactly the same. Yeah, I think you might be right there, Sally. Hashtag and the tag's difference. Tag is specific to a page or person. I think so. I mean, that's kind of how I've been using it, but I don't know. It's still just a little bit confusing to me. It is right. Excellent. See, I've learned something too. Thank you. What you do have to be careful with is putting at somebody. What that does is it means, you know, if you get on when you go into your comments, you've got the ones where it says you've got mentions. That's the ones where people have put the at and your name. So you only want to do that if you are absolutely wanting it to be flagged up with them that you've mentioned them. So, for example, if you did a technique that you thought I'd invented, it's highly unlikely because I don't invent much, but let's say I had, and you wanted to tag me in it to say, hey, shout out to Tracey, and you wanted me to see that and see that you'd tagged me, then you would use the at. But be really sparing with it, because I had to block somebody, well, hide somebody who tagged me in every single video that they did like that. And they were churning out videos almost daily. And it was just like, for God's sake, don't do that. I was appreciating being tagged, but they got nothing to do with me. They just got my name from somewhere. I don't know. It was a bit of a mad one. I never got my head around that. So do be sparing if you're doing that. Can you use a template setup if you're not monetized? Yeah, I've been using it all through. Well, once I realized it was there, that should all be there. Mint poppets. I love mint poppets. Sorry, distracted me with chocolate. Don't worry about misspelling my name, Shaky Crafter. I can't type and spell names to save my life. I answer to anything I do. Are there any more questions? Have I missed any? Because we've been going for just over an hour. I hope this is helpful. So what I'll do, I'll wait and see if there are any more questions. Nope, that's not what the one I wanted, was it? That's not what I wanted. Stop screen sharing. There's me. Yay, I'm back. Right, yes. If there are any more questions, of course you can't, well, most of you are in my Discord, aren't you? You can grab me in Discord or drop me an email, or of course pop them in the comments below this video. Now, what I'm planning to do, I'm working my way through the questions that you guys keep asking, and I'm thinking, you know, this might be the easiest way to do it. I'm thinking next would be perhaps when you actually upload a video, what this all looks like. And perhaps thinking about thumbnails and titles and things like that. Again, no expert, but I'm kind of doing okay. And I've been doing a lot of research and I've found out a few things. I'm very, very happy to share those with you. April, yes, I think so. I think that might be the easiest way to do it. I'll just keep going until we run out of questions. Because it's easier than making a video, to be honest. You're very welcome, Rachel. Yeah, so maybe we can do that next time. We can look at when you actually upload a video, and we can talk about thumbnails and descriptions and all that malarkey, and just what my take on it is for what it's worth. Now, what I would say is next week I won't be doing this because I'm in an online meeting, so I won't be doing this next Wednesday. The Wednesday after, I had actually scheduled to be doing a live just talking crafts on my craft channel. So I think, oh, crystal clear, that's a very good question as well. And yes, I'll add that to my list. That's a good topic, because I have got a few quite crafter specific thoughts on that as well. Yes, so I think what I'll do is next Wednesday, I'll be skipping this because I've got that meeting. The Wednesday after, I'll go live just on my normal craft channel, and we'll talk craft, we'll talk resin, we'll talk making a mess, just have a good old chin wag. And then the Wednesday after that, I don't know what date we're up to by this point. Don't know. I'll check on the dates. That we'll do another one of these, and we'll talk about the titles, thumbnails, and descriptions. Not descriptions. Yeah, descriptions a bit more, I suppose. But yeah, what to set to do when you're uploading. Those of you who haven't monetized yet as well, I can show you what those settings look like as well, and where you pick the different ways of doing that. So what I'm going to do then, I will now start to draw this meeting to a close, and I will go and watch back through this again to make sure I've got all of your questions written down that we maybe haven't answered this time. Help on setting up Shopify. Rachel, I'm so sorry. No, I can't. There's a channel called Learn with Shopify. That's what I would recommend. I'm not very good at Shopify. I seem to have fouled it up recently. So although it's very good, it's something that I am a million miles from knowing what I'm really doing with. I would not be the right person to help you, I'm afraid. I'm so sorry, but it wouldn't be. Oh yeah, we've got bonfire night coming around soon, haven't we? Excellent. But yes, all the others. Yeah, Lisa, right to say, I'm not going to be able to help you with that. Learn with Shopify, I think, is the channel. I'll tell you what I'll do. When I upload, well, when I go back and do some finishing tweaks and tidy this live stream up, I'll put the link for Learn with Shopify. I think it was Learn with Shopify was the one that taught me the basics. But it can do a hell of a lot of funky stuff, and I haven't really done much with it for ages. So Learn with link and driving views. The other one, I think, alongside driving views, people seem to struggle with getting ideas for the videos sometimes. That's one I'll probably pick up at some point. Yeah, I'll try and pick that one up as well. If there's any more you want me to cover, keep chucking the questions at me, by the way, even if they're not relating to what obviously questions from today, yes, by all means. But if there's any questions on any other particular topics you want me to cover, do shout up. As you've seen, I will tell you, I'm not an expert on anything, nothing. I mean, really nothing. But if it's something that I know very little about, then I will be absolutely honest and say so. Yes, please do pop your questions in the comments, including the ones that you want me to pick up in future. That would be great. And thank you all so much for your company and for your thumbs upsies. Blimey, we had 20 odd in. I'm pleased with that. Don't forget, if anybody isn't already in the Crafty YouTubers United group and would like to join, then do drop me an email. Remember, it is not my Discord, it's the group's Discord, and it is specifically for people with crafting YouTube channels or thinking of starting one. And if you are rather more experienced than some of us, brilliant, join, because you can help too. Between us, we usually muddle through very nicely. So do drop me an email at miniscenesgb@gmail.com and I'll hook you on up. Right, let's call it a day at that. I look forward to picking up your questions, and I will see you. Well, I've got a premiere video coming out on Saturday, so I'll probably see a lot of you there. And if not, I'll see you on the next one, I dare say. Take care, everyone, and thank you so much. I hope I didn't miss any questions. Again, if I did, stick them down below as well, and I will get to them. I promise I will do my best. Take care, everyone, and I'll say goodbye now. Bye, everyone.